What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again for another live stream for you guys. It's time for the post-match fan show. Spurs have been beaten 2-1 against Aston Villa at Villa Park this afternoon. What was quite a disappointing performance, and it was not just disappointing performance, and also a big blow to our European hopes this season, with Villa now going level on points with Tottenham in the race for the Conference League. Brighton now have 3 games in hand on Spurs, albeit Spurs, as we speak, are currently in 6th place. So all is not completely lost when it comes to Europa League, but it does make it very difficult to see enter the season where Tottenham are in 6th place in this current time. Definitely going to have to win the last 2. Goals from Ramsey and Douglas Luiz for Aston Villa gave them victory. It was a late Harry Kane penalty that gave Tottenham a bit of hope of getting back into the game, but it was a bit too little too late, unfortunately. Mason said he was disappointed in the way Spurs started the game, and it was hard to take that yet again in an away game they conceded in the first 10 minutes, which is definitely a theme at this point. And he spoke about how we need to bring the togetherness back to Tottenham, and hopefully there's enough good people at this club to do it. But this is now your chance to have your say. I've given my opinions on this afternoon's loss. Very disappointing, but let's get to hear from the fans. And first off, we have Elias. Step up Spurs. Elias, how are we doing today?
I am disappointed and I am shattered and I am angry right now at the players because we really didn't show any form of spirit, any form of togetherness, and it was a horrible showing from the entire squad. By the way, can you guys hear me clearly?
I can hear you.
Am I all right? Okay. Yeah, it was a horrible showing as usual. I think we as fans definitely deserve better. I feel for the fans who, the away fans who actually bought the tickets, and I think again once more, you guys need to refund those fans as well. Yeah, it's as bad as what happened at.
Do you think it's bad enough for a refund? Do you think, Elias?
It's bad enough for a refund as well. I mean, we lost at Villa Park. First time in 15 years is as bad. Like, this ownership is just done. Like, this, we haven't lost in Villa Park for 15 years, by the way, guys.
Yeah, but Villa, you got to give Villa credit. They're a good team under Unai Emery. They've been going really strong. It was clearly going to be a difficult game, and albeit I was also disappointed with the performance and the result. But it was never an easy game to go to Villa, is it?
Yes, it's always a tricky game. Same, but if you look at it, I mean, in Premier League, all the opponents are tricky. But if we always give these players that excuse that yes, that particular opposition is tricky, that particular team is tricky. We are a top 6 club, for crying out loud. We are a top 6 club. Like, where has Villa been for so many years? Where has these teams been? But now, if you see the development of these teams, the way they are sticking together, the way they are deploying their tactics, the way they are regathering their players, why can't we do all those things? Like, when I see teams like Brighton doing well, when I see teams like Brentford doing well, when I see a team like Aston Villa doing well, like these teams now, they're challenging for the European spot, and we are bottling the kind of chances that we had. We were like a 3rd and 4th, and now we are doing so bad. It kind of hurts my heart, if I'm being honest. It shatters me, seriously, guys. Like why can't we being a big club, invest into our team, invest into our players, invest into our management, invest into the overall system of the club to make something better and avoid this kind of embarrassing results? Well, like, why can't we do that? It's really heartbreaking, and that's why I feel that, yeah, you should be actually giving a lot of credit to the fans who actually travel all the way away, and I think they should be getting a refund, because this is unacceptable in my opinion.
What do you think in terms of the game, Elias? In terms of how the game went, what were you most upset about or not happy about?
Definitely the back line is horrible right now. Like, even I mean, Eric Dyer is gone for. I mean, like, I'm very happy. Like, I'm tired of defending that guy for so long. Like at least, like, I mean, he's gone, so I think he's gone, because even though he's like the one of the best choices that we have as a center back in our team, still he's not good enough, and I'm tired of of defending him. Like, I'm glad that now he's out for the whole season apparently, because he has some form of an injury. And the other one is, but Langley, Davis, and Royal, they are equally as bad. Like, that first goal is definitely on the back line. I mean, it's bad firstly, and then the other thing that I don't like didn't like today was the quality of in the final third from the wingers. Like, Sun was one-on-one at one point with a goalie, with a goalkeeper, and like, what was he doing? Like, sorry guys, I mean, I love Sun as well, but there were chances today that actually Sun missed. Kulu missed like some really good chances towards the end when he came on as well. Kane looked bad. Like, no one of the players looked better. Like, that whole front three, back three, nothing. Then the midfield as well. It was no creativity as well. There were some positives when Bissouma came on. He was like trying to win some balls easily, and he was trying to make some long passes towards the front three. But even then, that was quite late, and that was not good enough. I mean, in the end, Sun did score that particular goal. I think that particular one should have gone on VR, because I think he was onside by one of the defenders who was on the end. It should have been checked by VR. I think that would have been onside. It could have been a draw, but still, guys, we wasted so many opportunities that we had on goals. Like, I kind of agree with what Ryan Mason says, that this team does lacks some form of togetherness and some form of a spirit. But that has always been the case. Like, every manager, every person who comes into this club, they say the same thing. Like, why can't we just get rid of these players if they are lacking the togetherness? And every manager has to come and complain all these things. Like, what's going on? Like, this club is in a mess right now, in my opinion. We bottled top four, and now we are on the verge of bottling top six. It's unacceptable for a club like Tottenham.
Do you think do you think the chances of top six are gone after today, or do you still see a possibility if we can win the next two games?
Look, Brentford at home, even though it's at home, it's going to be a tricky fixture as well. They are playing good, and I mean, what I have looked at it, I mean, from Ryan Mason. First of all, I mean, I want to say, please, every single one of you are saying Ryan Mason in. Please stop the BS. He is not a good manager, and he doesn't deserve to be our manager. First of all, he is not a good manager. Like, please stop this nonsense that Ryan Mason deserves a chance, and he should be our permanent manager, and we can give him like what Arsenal gave Arteta. No, that nonsense doesn't stop. That guy has only given us 4 points out of the 12 possible points that we could have gotten, and he bottled some really good chances actually. In Brentford game as well, I think I am not counting on Ryan Mason at all. Like the Brentford team is a good team at the moment, and I think they can beat us at home. And I won't even be surprised that, like, let's say even if our season ends with like a 1-1 draw with Leeds or a 1-0 loss to Leeds, I won't even be surprised even of that. It's a good chance that we might as well lose out totally on the European football. And for a club like Tottenham to miss out on European football is a disgrace. And I don't know when would some of us realize that yes, we are in a mess right now. And Ryan Mason and all these things and all these excuses that we make, that oh, other teams are doing well and all that, that's really not good enough for us, guys. Seriously.
All right, Elias, thanks for calling in, mate. Appreciate your time. Nice to hear from you as always, and I'll speak to you very soon.
Speak to you soon, very soon. And today I won't say come on you Spurs. I don't
No?
feel like saying that. Turn off you Spurs, by
Elias
the way.
is
Like,
pissed.
what would say? Yeah, I am pissed.
All right, nice one, Elias. Good to see you, mate. There is Elias Step Up Spurs. If you want to go see more of Elias on his channel, he is not a happy boy today. Next up, though, we have Ryan. Hello,
Yeah,
Ryan. How you doing? You all right?
yeah, not too bad, man. Not too bad. Oh, it's been a stressful day, hasn't it?
It's been a stressful season, I think we can say. Not being
but
the best. In terms of today, what do you think went wrong for Tottenham?
do you know what? Right, just quickly going before I go on to that. Right, I just want to pick up something that your last caller said. Don't give Mason hate. He hasn't. It's not his fault that we're in this position in the first place. Right, he's only picked it up from the last 4 games, so please don't hate on him. If you're going to hate on anybody, hate on Levy.
Okay, fair enough. And I think that's probably the right thing to say, because Mason has kind of been chucked into the deep end, hasn't he? And not for the first time. And he's trying to cobble together some results and in a very, very difficult situation. So I think that's probably a fair point. In terms of Mason, though, do you think he should be considered for the permanent job?
Do you know what, right? It's weird because obviously what happened yesterday, today's obviously a new day and I've had a chance to think about it. And the thing is, I don't think Mason should get the job at the moment. At the moment, I don't think he should get the job. I think he needs to go and get a managerial job, either away from Tottenham and out into a European place, or better still, go to a championship team and go and get some experience down there.
That's fair enough. So in terms of the game today, Ryan, what went wrong for you?
Do you know what? Everything went wrong straight from the 8th minute, really, didn't it? I mean, it's the same old Tottenham doing the same old thing, doing everything, same thing, day in, day out, week in, week out, month in, month out, all this season. It's been just disastrous.
Yeah, it's hard to disagree. I mean, for the third consecutive away game, we've conceded within inside 10 minutes, which is quite a trend as it's turning out to be. Why do you think that's happening? What's with the last 3 games where we seem to just gift goals early on?
Do you know what? I haven't got a clue. But I do know one thing, though. They said something earlier, because I watched it on a stream, that they said that it was if we had lost today, it would have been our worst record since 2000.
What, away record?
Of defeats away from home.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. Our away form, we haven't won since February, so it's pretty shocking stuff when it comes to our away form. In terms of top 6 or Conference League, where do you stand on it at the moment? Is there any chance we can still get top 6 with the fixtures remaining?
I really don't want tops. I don't even want Europe this year. I want us out of Europe and just not being in Europe, just to literally show the owners that we now have the power and they don't have anything left to show for what they've done in the last 22 years. So I would rather take no Europe and have a half decent manager like Slot and rebuild and go again next season.
So you want to finish 8th? You'd rather lose the next 2 games then?
Yeah, I would. And to be honest, I would be happy if we lose our next 2 games just on that. And I know it sounds horrible, but I would rather look at it and say no European football is hurting Enix and Levy's pockets.
What do you think will happen, though, in the last 2 games? We've got Brentford and Leeds. Do you think we'll get results in those games?
If you want me to go with my heart, I would like to say yes. But in reality, I don't want anything. But if you're asking me by my heart, then yes, I'd say you probably get 2 points from the next 2 games.
2 points?
Yeah.
2 points. All right, Ryan. Great chatting to you, mate. Cheers for calling in. Appreciate your time.
Yeah.
And we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, cheers.
Nice one, Ryan. Speak to you very soon.
Nice one.
So Ryan wants us to lose the next 2 games to make sure we're out of Europe. Let's see if anyone concurs with him. So someone who might well concur is coming up next, and we have Brian Daigle.
What's
Mr.
up, people?
Daigle, let's get
What's
out
up?
of Europe to hurt Levy's pocket. What do you say?
Hurt his pocket, hurt his legs, hurt his arms, hurt his face.
We
don't
don't
really
We
care.
don't condone violence on We Are Tottenham TV, Brian.
Just, you know, I'm only joking when I say this shit. I mean, honestly, this is what can we say? Just like Ryan was saying, it's actually our worst our worst away run since 2001, when a certain person bought the club, and that was 13. But this is 9, another record he can put on a notch on his bedpost that he can have. We've now conceded 59 goals, 2 away from our worst Premier League record of 61 in 2007, and 19 more than the entire of last season for a team that plays defensive football. And yeah, what is going up? I mean, what a mess we are. Like you said, Simeon, conceding a goal in the first 10 minutes for 3 games in a row. I'm sure Ryan Mason would have said, right, listen, just keep it tight for the opening 10 minutes. Don't do anything rash. Don't do anything. Romero once again going rash. And you've seen the difference with Aston Villa. Look how well they played that high line. They had that high line. Fair play to them. They'd worked hard all week, and we hardly ever broke it. In fact, I don't even know if we did break it at once. But they are
no, that wasn't offside.
Yeah, well, they were well disciplined. They knew what to do as a team. This team, don't know if they're coming or going. And I've got a new nickname for Richarlison. I'm nicknaming him Offsiderson, because this man, all right, someone's offside a lot more in these games, but I've never seen a guy since Chris Armstrong offside this much. I don't know what's happening with this football club, but it was another shambolic and disgusting performance from this club.
What disappointed you the most from that performance? Because, you know, at 1-0, Basuma comes on. We had a couple of chances. Kane has a chance, which he should have buried. Kulusevski has a chance. But then all of a sudden that free kick makes it 2 and it's game over at that point, isn't it? But what disappointed you most from that performance?
Let's face it, Sim, it should have been over for them before they got the second. They had so many chances and cut us to shreds. It's just a lack of fight. The lack of desire, the lack of passion. There's nothing. This is reminding me how bad it got. Do you remember, you would have probably been at the game, Simeon, when we lost 4-0 to Liverpool under Tim Sherwood, and the fans were going, let's pretend we scored a goal. And the team was just all... This is where we are right now. This is where we are right now. This team doesn't know if it's coming or going. The players, I mean, we're all marvelling about how great Romero was last week. But he's back to himself today with his rash challenges. This team it's just what Danjuma again. We were speaking. I heard you mention it in the watch along. What's this guy got to do? Seriously, what has this man got to do? He's come on loan to try and help this squad for whatever reason he was brought in, and doesn't get the chance to do anything. It's just rinse, repeat, same again. Rinse, repeat, same again. And today, that first half was just awful. Awful.
Yeah, I agree. And it could have been game over by the first half, couldn't it? And I think we didn't have a single shot on or off target in that first half, and that really set the tone. That's probably where the game was lost, because the second half was a bit more even than the first, but albeit still it was only Harry Kane, really, wasn't it? That he nearly got us back in the game, but it was too little, too late. But in terms of Ryan Mason, what do you think he did wrong in the game?
Do you know what? I'm kind of torn between what Elias was saying and Ryan was saying, because you're right. This isn't his fault. He's been chucked in at the deep end once again, like he was when Levy slapped Mourinho right before a final. It was like, right, you deal with this. This club is so rotten and so broken and so deflated that you need someone with a bit of bounce, a bit of character. Look what I'm not suggesting, but look what Sam Allardyce has done at Leeds. All right, it was only 2-1 to Man City. They've been on the verge of receiving thumpings every single week, and then a home draw to Newcastle. If anyone thinks we're going to Leeds on the final game of the season, and they might be fighting for their lives, and don't think that we're going to crumble underneath the Ellen Road fans, got another thing coming, because that's what will happen. That's what will happen.
Wow.
We've seen it. We cannot deal with hostile environments, and believe me, Ellen Road is as hostile as they come. So he's come in, but the fact that yesterday, I mean, I was on your show when you were doing the preview for this game, and obviously the great breaking news of Nagelsmann hadn't broken, and you look at this. Well, what's Ryan Mason's do? I mean, the players must have heard that. And you got to remember, Harry Kane only 3 days ago was saying, "I trust Daniel to do the right thing. I know what's going. I'm sure we're." And then within a few days, oh, Nagelsmann, the one real gem that we could get. Nope, not happening. Haven't had meetings, don't plan to. What's this do for him? What's it do for the rest of the team? They don't know who the manager is. They don't know who they're playing for next season. They don't know where this club is going. They don't know if they want to stay, probably. They must be thinking, what the hell is going on at this club? It's an absolute mess, isn't it, Sim?
Completely agree. I mean, there's nothing right now that, if you look at the club right now as things stand, there's nothing really to suggest they've got a plan going forward or they know what they're doing, because there's no director of football, there's no manager. Harry Kane's future's up in the air. So until that all gets sorted, I think the fans are right to be anxious and to call out the lack of planning, because it all comes from a lack of long-term planning from the hierarchy while we're in this position. And why should fans be patient with this board when they've been in charge for 22 years and there's clearly there's been a lack of planning for the whole time on a footballing side for those 22 years. So I understand the club's lack of the fans lack of patience with the whole matter. And we're now 22 years into their tenure, and we're now sitting here with no manager, no director of football, and it's like, where are we going?
Well, I'll come on to that, but it's like when Ryan said, when he said, I just want this season over, and then we go again. Go again what? Repeat and do the same thing, hire a manager, sack a manager, have no leadership, don't get the players we want in, have to deal with quantity over quality, go out of cup competitions and try and hold up. And when it comes to what you said about the fans, I mean, I don't. Everyone knows how passionate and how outspoken I am on this. I mean, I don't. We're going again for the final time this season at 9 a.m. We'll be outside that bloody club shop just because it's the early kickoff. We ain't going, oh, it's too early for. We'll be there like we always are. I don't understand what it's going to take for this fan base now. I mean, after Man U, where we had the good turnout, obviously you and Ben were there as well. And that was much. And you've come and seen me all the time, Simeon, when I'm there, haven't you? And you've seen that the numbers have always been up and down, up and down. But that one on a Thursday night when the trains were playing up, when the weather was bad, was the best one we had. Still need numbers to be much bigger, but we caused the scene. Now, even since then, we've lost to Liverpool, right? We showed some fight, and now we've got this defeat. European football may well and truly be off the cards.
Do you think it is? Do you think we get European football this season?
I don't care. I hope not.
What do you reckon will happen?
Well, I think we may get a draw against Brentford, but I think we're going to get destroyed by Leeds. And I don't mean by a massive goal scorer. I just don't have any faith in in the players. If they crumble in away games like Sheffield United, Newcastle, Liverpool in the first half, Ellen Road, I can't get across how intimidating Ellen Road will be on that game, and the players will just crumble. And I can't see us getting a point there. And I'm being lucky, I'm being kind when I say I think we'll get a point against Brentford. I really do. But yeah, that's the last chance we have to do something this season at the stadium. There will be stuff going on throughout the summer to be revealed. But the thing I want to get across that now, because there's so much talk on Twitter and all these social medias and YouTube chats, people going, "I'm cut," or leave you out, edict out, or whatever words they want to use and show their frustrations on the board, and then don't turn up. But the thing I want to discuss about this, Simeon, and get out there is, when I get deflated and pissed off about this, it's not about the foreign fan base that can't get there, but the foreign fan base do so fucking much social media wise. They really do. I mean, there are people that will retweet things or speak Levy out from their hearts, and if they were in this country, would be here, but for obvious reasons, they can't get here. There's people in this country that don't live in London and can't get in here, or do live in London and don't go to games, or wanted to come but have kids or elderly relatives or some valid reason not to come. But there's 62,500 fans that go there week in, week out. Let's take 10,000 out just for away fans, corporate delegates, and all that stuff. Let's say 52,500 people. You know, Simeon, from when you hear Levy out, it's more than the 200 people that are standing outside a club shop. So why the hell do you not come and protest? Even if I understand, listen, it's the end of the week, you've worked hard, you want to have a couple of beers or whatever, fine, do that. What's to stop you for half an hour coming out and voicing your anger, your disbelief at this club, and then going on with that, because you do that. If 400-500 people did that, because there's more than that shouting "Levy out." If 400 or 500 of you that are in the pubs or for whatever reason you're not at the protest but sing it inside, just come and stood outside for 20 minutes, the whole thing changes. The whole thing changes. So when people have a go at people for not turning up at these protests, it's not the international fan base, which when I'm obviously back in Canada, I'm part of and do as much as I can, as well as people from around the world that do everything they can. And I know a lot of people and official clubs, because I deal with Toronto Spurs, that refuse to give money to the club now. Won't order anything from the club shop. They'll get it from sports shops around the world or whatever. They will not leave you money. Everyone's doing their bit. The fans that can't get to games are doing their bit. So where are the fans that are actually going to the game? Why aren't they doing their bit? I don't get it.
Well, maybe I guess they feel differently to you. A lot of them, or maybe they
Don't
feel
say the ones that
displeasure.
sing "Leave Me Out." We're talking about the ones that sing "Leave Me Out" in the stadium. So the ones that do feel like me, Sim, not the ones that aren't. The ones that aren't "Leave Me Out." That's your call, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. I don't agree with it, but you're entitled to it, and I respect it. But I'm saying the ones that want to scream and shout "Leave Me Out" in the stadium, why aren't you over the road?
Fair enough. No, that's a fair point. It's a fair point. If they want action, they know where to go.
Exactly.
Brian, yeah, go on. What are you going to say?
No, so this is the thing. I mean, listen, I'll be tweeting a lot about it this week. I'll be obviously doing stuff on Tottenham on tour all week. I'll be doing wherever I can get my blooming ugly face. I'll be putting it in front of a camera so I can preach Levy out or do what I have to do like I always do, because this is the last push for this season. Yes, we plan to do things in the summer. Yes, we plan to do things at certain events that may be going on. Yes, there's plans for things, but this is the last time this season you can have your say. And if you do feel the way that a lot of us feel, just come over. Just hope the weather holds out for once in May of all months. It's been raining every single bloody time. But get over there. This is the last chance for this season.
All right. Nice one, Brian. Good to see you, my friend.
Always, brother. We'll have to meet up soon, Sim. And
Sure,
as
happy to.
always, Levy out.
Nice one, Brian. Good to see you, mate. That was the great Brian Daigle. I think he was actually... there's actually no one in the background at the moment. So if you do want to come on and have your say, join the link in the community section below. There's people waiting. Oh, no, there's no people waiting at the moment, sorry, to come on. So there is open spots if you do want to come on. Let's go through some super chats. Rich Frith says, who cares anymore? I hope we miss out on Europe. Hashtag Levy out. Branton Troller says, what's the point, man? Save your mental health, people. Yeah, I hear that as well. My mental health is definitely taking a big battering since Spurs as the performances they've been putting in of late. That's for sure. I mean, it's hard to see where we're going right now as a club, especially on days like today when another defeat, another game we conceded in the first 10 minutes. Didn't really ever seriously look like getting back into the game apart from some patches in the game. Got out-tacticked by a better Aston Villa side. And that's the truth. We were the second best and we didn't deserve to get through, to get anything out of the game. So it's disappointing right now at the club, and there's no sense of direction. We've just pulled out of any Nagelsmann negotiation, so we don't know who our number one target is for the new manager, who we really want. It just seems to be all up in the air, and it's not a good place to be a fan at the moment. But we do have another caller. We have KPV on the line. Come on, KPV. It's KPV.
What up?
Kyle, what happened today?
Just the same crap as always. Can't beat Villa. Lost twice by 2 goals, but got one finally. 2-1. We just can't beat the ex-Arsenal manager. What's going on? Like, as I said, we've only beaten him once. That was the Carabao Cup, almost 6 years ago. So, like, he's lucky, man. Like, need defenders, man. Like, Romero, shocking today. I know he may have got injured or something, but shocking. 2 goals, Douglas Luiz again. Like, shocking, man. What we gonna
Yeah.
do then?
What
Not
are we
good,
gonna
is
do? What
it?
are we gonna do, Carl? Because Nagelsmann ain't coming. So, who's next on the
Yeah.
list?
Well, there's only one man. That's Luis Enrique who can save us. Like, Luis Enrique, man. Just get Luis Enrique, Daniel Levy. Just bring Luis Enrique in because he's the only one that can sort this mess out. And yeah, give him the players he wants, who he's managed before. Just give him the players he wants, give him the tools, back him. Then hopefully we can start challenging for honours next season. Like, we do want a trophy, and people are going to start saying, oh, Kane never turned up. Like, I have said it many times. He scored in the FA Cup semi-final against Chelsea in 2017. Do people not know that?
Yeah, he did. I
And I
know
believe
that
it was Dele Alli. And it was Dele Alli as well.
exactly.
So, so people need to stop saying Kane didn't score. Like, you know, because you was there. Fortunately, we lost 4-2. Like, but yeah, that was under Poch who's gonna go. But what are we gonna do, man? Like, just get Luis Enrique and give me Luis Enrique, man. Like, it's all I ask for. Spanish manager, like, he has experience and he's won everything apart from with the national team. So give me Luis Enrique and we can come good. But they they're now level on points with the villains, that's their name. Aston Villa, the villains. Lucky, like, they're now leveled on points, but goal difference is why we're still above them. If they'd have scored third, they would have gone above us, but thank God they didn't. And Kane on the score sheet, I said Kane was going to score, so Kane always scores against Villa, just as he does. 210 Premier League goals now.
Yeah, he's 27 Premier League goals as well. He's still maintaining his standards, isn't he? Even though Spurs can't kind of put in good performances, he's the one shining light, isn't he?
Yeah, he's the one. Like, now we must focus on the Brentford game next Saturday, the last home game, and then Leeds away. Like, Leeds just dropped points, and Newcastle dropped points, and United obviously won. And but yeah, there's 2 games. There's a few games tomorrow. Then there's the last one on Monday, and a few in the week. So Brentford at home, a win obviously. Obviously, we're gonna win that because Kane is gonna score again, and Son always scores against Brentford. So we need a win, and that we're on 57 still. Shocking.
Are we going to get Europa League, Carl?
Yes, just give me the Europa League, then we can win it. Then we go back into the UCL because that's the music I prefer. Not Europa League, but yeah, the other lot of London are back in the UCL and we're back in the Europa League, like as we were 2 seasons ago. We were in it and we thought we could win it, but yeah, we fortunately lost to Zagreb. So shocking, but I just don't want that team again if we get in Europa League. Like, winning on Europa League, we can win it, then get back into the big competition that really matters. Bring on Brentford, then Leeds. So 2 wins, they'll put us on 63, is it?
Yeah, 2 wins puts us on 63.
Yeah, well, I guess Villa need to win at least a few more to go above us, but I don't want Conference League, I know you don't, because that still is not my cup of tea. I don't know whose idea it was to bring this competition from the start. Like, just scrap it, man. I don't want us being in it, or else we'll just miss out. But Europa League, yeah, just get us in it and win, then get back in the big competition. So, yeah, bring on Brentford, and but I'm off again.
Nice
I'm
one,
out.
Carl.
See you soon.
See you soon, mate. Good to speak to
See
you.
you soon, mate. Yeah, see ya.
See you in a bit. That was Carl Patrick Vineyard in the building, giving his opinions on the game. We've got more super chats here. Brandon Troller says, Sim, who are you gunning for in the manager search? I mean, is there anything concrete? Should we just give it to Mason, sign Balotelli for funny? I don't know about signing Balotelli, although it would be jokes. I don't think we should just give it to Mason. As much as I appreciate Mason as a person, I don't know if he's ready to be our manager right now. Who am I gunning for? Arnie Slot, I like the look of. I think he could be the one who might be the front runner. I like the look of Xavi Alonso as well. I like the football that he plays, but I think he's probably not going to want to leave Leverkusen right now. It's going to maybe take a hefty package. So I guess Arnie Slot would be my next in line. I think he's playing really good football with Feyenoord. He's done a great job. We've seen Ten Hag right now, what he's doing with Man United coming from the Dutch league. So I think Arnie Slot will probably be my pick, but it wouldn't get me that excited. But at least maybe if we can get him playing good football again, he could be the answer to that. So I guess Arnie Slot would be my next pick. Obviously, I was desperate for Nagelsmann, but hasn't really. Looks like it's looks like he's left. But is anyone else? Yeah, we've got another person coming on. All right, who's coming on now? We have. One sec. Whoever's coming on has a poor connection. Is he good enough to join? Joe Angus, welcome to Gold. I'm not sure if there's a good connection here. We can try bring on Ryan is in the background. Let's see if we can bring him on. Hello, Ryan. No, it doesn't seem to be connected. There's someone else joining. Okay, let's see who else is joining now. All the callers want to give their opinions now. Next up we have... Let's see who's coming on next. We have Joe. Let's bring Joe on. Hello, Joe. How are you doing?
Hello, Simeon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear. Thanks for calling in, and thank you for becoming a member. Big up to you, mate.
Yeah, I'm not a Tottenham fan, but I've been following the interesting situation you have on here, and for me, as an outsider looking in, it just seems to be ownership issues with you, and the fact that the fan base is getting quite angry could be affecting that as well.
Who do you support there, mate?
I'm a Donny fan.
Doncaster?
Yeah, it's not been a good season for us in League Two. We sacked Gary McSheffrey when we were 8th in the league, appointed Danny Schofield, we finished 18th. But what Doncaster actually did, which has brought a real buzz to the fan base, was we brought back Grant McCann, who was an ex-manager who had us in the 2017-18 season, took us to the playoffs in League One. And he's actually come back. There's a real sense of the upcoming season's going to be good. Like, what I think Tottenham should do, if they can, bring back an old favourite. Obviously, Pochettino's looking like going to Chelsea. There's not really a lot of candidates for you, but that's what Doncaster have done. And that's actually added a real buzz back into the fan base.
Interesting. So, so Doncaster have basically hired a former legend as a manager, and it's done you really well. You're saying?
Yeah. Yeah, Grant McCann, had a season with us in 17-18, and he steered us to 6th place in League One. We lost in the semi-finals to Charlton Athletic, and then he did have a bit of a falling out with the board and he left. But it's been a few years now. He's come back to the club to manage us for a second season, and we're hoping that he can be given some funds. But from a Tottenham perspective, I'm thinking that maybe bringing back somebody who the fans like they can give the fans would be then willing to give that manager a chance. Difficult because there's not a lot of candidates like that available from the outside looking in. I'm not sure if you know of anybody.
We in terms of club legends who are currently managers, there is slim pickings. Really, there isn't too many options I can think of. There's Jurgen Klinsmann, but he hasn't been a fantastic manager so far. Who else is there? Ledley King was a coach for a bit. Ryan Mason is obviously a manager now, but I don't know if we want to give him the permanent job. So as an outsider, what do you think the ownership are doing wrong? What do you see as the ownership's failings?
I mean, he's not been letting managers decide their own signings. Antonio Conte wasn't given the freedom in the transfer market that he really should have, which has led to him.
Yeah, sorry. Hello?
Like the managers that you have, they're not given freedom in the transfer market at all for me. From as an outsider looking in, like if you look at the signings that were made during Conte's tenure, did he really want many of them? Was he the one deciding those signings? I don't think he was. I don't think Levy has given many of his managers the freedom to build their own squads. They've seemed like board signings for me.
I agree, and so you understand why a lot of the fans are very frustrated with the ownership right now. But like when you look at Tottenham, we have probably the 6th biggest finances and wage budget in the Premier League. That's probably where we're sitting at the moment. So even given that's the case, do you understand the frustrations?
Yeah. It's going to be a difficult one because Tottenham right now, I think you're going to bite the bullet and say you're not a top 6 side. In your current form, you're not.
Do you think Harry Kane will leave in the summer?
Harry Kane, for me, I'm not a Tottenham fan. I probably don't have the emotional connection to him that you do. I think the best thing for his career, he needs to leave and go where that can win him trophies, whether that's abroad, whether that's to Manchester United, I don't know. He just needs to leave for me, just to get himself some success.
All right. Well, Joe, thank you for calling in, mate. Appreciate your time, and we'll speak to you very soon.
Cheers.
Cheers. See ya. That was Joe Angus, a Doncaster fan. Not the thing I expected, but fair play to him, giving his opinion on the Tottenham ownership. Let's get Avi on.
How's it, guys?
Hey, Avi. Nice to see you. Long time no see. How have you been?
I've snapped my Achilles, so I risked my life to get down here to watch this match on my crutches.
How did that go? How did that turn out?
That turned out, yeah, it was all well worth it, wasn't it?
God.
I mean, so it was hard to stay interested, honestly. I mean, I was listening to you guys for the first half an hour, and you were talking about everything but the game. That's how interesting it was.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a shot for 45 minutes, so that pretty much tells the story. So, what for you? Why was it so? Why did we struggle so much in that first half? Do you think?
Well, listening to what Ryan said, they had a plan, they had a strategy, and they didn't execute it. And the strategy was to capitalize on Villa's high line, which makes sense in a way, hence the 9 offside. So every time they try to do it. So that seemed to be the game plan, was to just basically hit the balls long, beat them on their high offside line, and rock on through. And they just didn't execute it. So, I mean, I kind of went, all right, well, there was a plan, but I just don't understand why it always comes down to one guy for me. This game, it was Romero. Both goals came down to him, basically. Just being an absolute idiot. Doing the Romero thing. And you know, not only cost cards, both his executions of tackles cost us goals. So once again, Dyer wasn't there, but Romero picked it up and helped out. As for the rest of the guys, I don't know. There's no plan, there's no cohesion, there's no ability to do anything. They seem lost. There was a game plan, fair enough. They didn't execute it, fair enough. But honestly, just boring, and they don't seem to care. I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we struggled for large parts, especially in the first half, to really assert ourselves in the game. I did feel in the second half, once Basuma and Kulusevski came on, there was a little period where we did have a bit of ascendancy, but we failed to capitalise on it. And then they very quickly scored the second goal after that. It was game over. But did you feel maybe, and there was a little period when we could have got back in the game after the substitutions?
Absolutely. The substitutions changed the game entirely, which again, one has to sort of ask about, or maybe because Basuma's been injured and whatnot, but Skip was absolutely awful today. You know, Højbjerg became a lot better in the second half, but our Skip was really, really bad. He really, really was. He didn't help at all. And yes, we did come into the ascendancy. And I would have put my house on Kane scoring that goal. And you know, those things happen, but it's always from behind.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the ascendancy always comes from the descendancy. I don't know how else to put it.
Yeah, after giving, we have to give the other team the ascendancy to wrestle it back. Essentially, that's how it is.
It's been like this for. You know, it's been with Conte and now it is with Mason. And honestly, I feel sorry for the managers, whether it was Mason or Conte, because there's no ways that they're telling the guys to let in a goal in 10 minutes or to do this or to do that. It must be as frustrating as hell. Honestly,
yeah,
beyond belief. I mean, I'd be going insane if I was a manager, and week after week. My team kept doing the same thing in whatever sphere of life, even work, football, anything. I mean, wow.
It's 3 away games in a row we've conceded in the first 10 minutes now of our Premier League fixtures. So it must be really frustrating. Newcastle, Liverpool, and now today, 3 away games. 3 Premier League away games in a row.
That's conceded first. How many goals have we conceded? That's another whole question.
Oh yeah, it's another one. But I'm saying conceded first in the first 10 minutes as well. So including Man United as well. That was a home game for first 10 minutes or 1-0 down as well. Yep. The only outlier was the Palace game in recent months, and they were just maybe a bit off form. But in terms of getting Europe, we're still kind of in 6th at the moment. Brighton do have 3 games in hand. Villa also level on points with us. We do have the easier fixtures, but but we kind of do need to win 2 out of our last 2 games. You have to win both of them essentially to do it. I reckon.
We have to win both. I think you know what? It's an impossible call. I mean, who the hell knows? Who the hell would have thought that we would have been calling going out to Villa as like a big game a year ago or last season? And now Villa is like, oh, we got to go to Villa, and this is going to be a tough one, and it's Aston Villa. I mean, whoa, what happened here? Brighton, listen, Brighton, Arsenal tomorrow, Brighton better win. That's all I have to say.
Even at the cost of Tottenham finishing outside the top 6?
100%. There is
Didn't
nothing,
even flinch.
100%. The only thing I have left in this season is that City win the league. That's it. There's nothing left.
Yeah,
there's nothing
left.
As well. It's a negative. It's coming from a negative place. I get it, It's not coming from, you know, a Tottenham place, Tottenham doing well. I get it, but that's all that I feel I personally have left, is that if Arsenal win the league, I don't know what to do with myself. You know, that is just going to be hard. It's going to be excruciating. You know, it's torture. So City must win, and you know, Brighton, please go beat them tomorrow. And if that means that, and you know, as far as I'm concerned, if they do it, they deserve it as well, and we don't. You
Oh,
know,
100%.
we don't deserve it. Everything that we are, the only reason we are where we are now is because we had the best start to a league season ever. Can you believe that? As well, have to say that in this season.
In terms of Avi, I want to know your opinion on the new
Yeah.
manager search. Obviously, Nagelsmann seems to have pulled out the race a week. Apparently, pulled out the Nagelsmann deal yesterday, whatever you want to believe. What's your opinion on that, and who do you reckon the new manager might be now?
Daniel Levy, I'm surprised he's claimed he doesn't know who Nagelsmann is. What I think is, you know, on the one hand, I feel like saying what a lot of us and you guys have been saying, or a lot of, not you necessarily, but a lot of people on the various podcasts have been saying, what does it matter as long as we have this ownership?
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, we've been through some great name managers, and we've absolutely chucked them away. Mason comes in. Well, you know what will happen? He doesn't work out. They'll just stick him into the same position he was always in, kind of helping out on the sidelines. I think if I was Nagelsmann, I think you'd be nuts to come to Tottenham. That's my personal view. So I'm not surprised.
Do you think he rejected us, or we rejected him?
He rejected us 1,000%. 1,000%. Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's 35, 36 years old.
Mm-hmm.
He's built a name for himself far younger than a normal manager has the right to do. And Tottenham is not kind. Tottenham is not a kind place for managers, clearly. Why would you do it? Like, what do you need it for? It's not a question of money. It's not a question of the team's on the verge of something. It's a question of Daniel Levy. And to be anywhere close to Daniel Levy. You know, it's like, oh, Daniel Levy will leave things. But listen, Daniel Levy appoints the DOF. Daniel Levy appoints the new guy that's coming in. Dun. What is his name? The guy that they've just employed. So everything filters up to Daniel Levy. And everything filters up to Daniel Levy, and Daniel Levy will have his paws on absolutely everything and everyone. I think if any of us believe that that's not the case, we're fooling ourselves. I know that even with you guys, when Conte came in, everybody was saying this is the manager. He wouldn't come unless he could get what he knew, what he wanted, because he's that kind of guy. Conte would demand and he would get, and that was definitely the way it was going to work. Well, it didn't, because Levy's unstoppable. He's a force of nature. And until that guy sells the club, I don't know. You know, it's going to carry on like this. I thought Pochettino was a shoo-in, an absolute shoo-in. I said to my wife, the minute Conte goes, Pochettino is going to come in. Why? Because it will be the one way that Levy will get everybody to shut up. Because all the fans, the majority anyway, I know not everybody's for it, but the majority would be, majority would be, we got Poch back. I was absolutely convinced it's a no-brainer. And even that didn't happen. Now I'm absolutely like, I thought I read the guy's mind. I'm completely lost. So whoever we get in, we'll get in, but I have no idea who it's going to be. It's not going to be Nagelsmann. I'm almost certain of that. I reckon it's Mason.
You reckon he'll be the next one?
I reckon they're going to just keep plodding along with the idea of, I think that there's a 50-50 chance of Mason. And now I'm almost going to believe there's a 50-50 chance of the ex-Liverpool dude that everybody's, wants to throw up when they hear about it. The one, what's his name? Sorry, my name's
Alonso.
all... No, Alonso'd be fine. The one who just got fired out of Everton or wherever he was.
Oh,
Not
Rafa
Everton.
Benitez.
Sorry, not the English guy. God, I'm terrible.
Hodgson? No.
No, not Roy. Not Roy. The other switch it off over here. The other guy. God, what's wrong with us? He just got fired. He was one of the two that got fired. Him and Chelsea. Potter and
Oh, Potter. Oh, no. Who talk? Former Liverpool.
he got fired. Yeah, he got fired
Gerrard?
a couple of days before Potter.
Oh.
No, he got fired a few days before Potter. Him and Potter got fired on the same weekend.
I'm trying to remember who's. Oh, Rogers.
Yes, Brendan Rodgers.
Yeah, it might be him. You're probably
I'm
right.
Yes, just to screw with us. Just because he can. So I don't know. I think the next two games I can't predict. We may win, we may lose. If we're not in Europe, I honestly think for us.
Oh, is he gone?
I think in the season for me.
Oh no, you're still there. All right, Avi. I
No, I'm
think
still
the
here.
connection's cutting
Yeah.
out. Okay, but I
All
think
right,
the
guys.
connection's cutting out a bit. But good to speak to you, my mate. Thanks for calling
Okay.
in.
Yeah, good to speak to you again. See you guys.
Speak
Cheers,
to you very soon, bro. See ya.
Yeah, cheers, guys. Bye.
See ya, Avi. That was Avi giving some very interesting opinions on the club at the moment. Is he the last one? All right, he is the last caller. So thank you, everyone, for calling in and giving your opinions on today's game and the club moving forward. Thank you all for watching the stream and sending your super chats and interacting. Let me know in the comment section below if you enjoyed the stream. But thank you for calling in. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.